Hey, so we are here talking about business succession, and we've talked about marketing and employees and sales, and now we're going to talk about some of the rough stuff. But we definitely need to consider this in order to be able to step outside of the business. We need to have systems in place to check financials. We need to make sure that our goals are actually matching like the actions that we're taking are matching the goals we set in our business. And so I'm going to break this one also into two videos because today's two questions, they're multi-parter. And so I just want to make sure that we go through this so that you are checking to ensure that this is in your business. All right, ready? Number one, do you have a system in place for bookkeeping? Really, really simple as it sounds, but the reality is that a lot of small business owners are trying to do their own bookkeeping without knowing what it means to catalog this activity as that versus that, the impact that it has on your taxes, right? And so what kind of a system do you have in place for bookkeeping? And hint, hint, you shouldn't be doing your own bookkeeping. So really, get together with bookkeepers, interview them, see how they fit with your cultures and your needs and your style, and hire one that's going to work with you and for you, right? Okay, number two question. This is like the multi-parter, right? Do you have scheduled time in your week, right? This should be weekly, that you're looking at your business financials. Not just going, oh yeah, it looks like I have money in my operating account. Yeah, let's spend that. No, I mean like strategically looking at your financials. That means financial documents to make sure that again, what your activities are doing are producing the goals that you believed should be the result of those activities. So here's some of the financial things that you should be examining. Budget variance reports. That is to say, you set up a budget for the year. You should have a budget for the year, right? And are the numbers matching the reality of what you're spending in those categories? That's your budget variance report. Like, how much is it varying? What are the differences, right? You should be looking to see, am I on track or am I way off track? This is important. Okay. Second document, accounts receivable report, right? Like, how much am I waiting for? What's the bottleneck here in us getting paid for what we did, right? So look at your accounts receivable report. 3, your weekly cash flow forecast. That is to say, are we on track to have like the number of sales conversations that we should be having, the number of the calls that should be having coming in so that we can close, knowing our closing rate, this much to have that much cash coming into our business every week. That's your cash flow forecast. Number 4, okay, look at your rolling 12-month revenue and expense report, right? That takes examining your profit and loss statements, right? To see, is it trending in the direction that you want it to be trending? If it's not, why is it not? What's going on? Maybe there's issues in marketing. Or maybe you do have a lot of leads, but the sales conversation is garbage and you need to fix that up, right? Or maybe you have great marketing, great sales team, but the delivery thing is just creating this backlog where people are not coming back, right? So you need to be examining these things to see what's causing the issue. Next, you need to be looking at your balance sheet. Yeah, look at your assets and your liabilities. Get familiar with them. See if the right amount of assets is in place for what your goals are, right? See if the liabilities are too much or if it's a healthy enough of liabilities to handle, right? Maybe you took out a loan for working capital. Are we meeting what we need to have in what's coming in to satisfy that debt monthly, right? Debt service. Next thing you should be looking at your profit and loss statement. Listen, if you want a business loan, you're going to be asked about your balance sheet. You're going to be asked about your profit and loss statement. You should be really familiar with looking at a profit and loss statement, right? Because the reality is that revenue is not profit. Okay. Your profit and loss statement tells you how efficiently you're running your business, right? Because somebody might be a lot more profitable than you and have a lot lower revenues, but they just know how to run things really efficiently. You might be a business that's bringing in $2 million worth of sales, right? But what if you're operating at a loss? You need to be examining those things and seeing what's causing this loss. Is it because we did a big investment in something that's going to grow our business, and so we had to make this investment, and therefore it's a book loss? Or are we having some other issues in here in the line? Okay, next thing, your return on marketing investments. Every single dollar that goes out for marketing needs to have a positive ROI. If they are not, you need to be examining that very quickly and dropping things that don't have a positive ROI. Your marketing should bring in an ROI of 8 to 12 times. Anyone that tells you, oh, well, you'll get like a 1 to 2 ROI, they don't know what they're talking about. So please don't follow along with them. Next, right, your qualified prospects to sale appointments. So your inquiries to qualified prospects, right? So how many people are calling in total that are actually qualified for what you do? You need to be looking at that, right? Because your marketing message might be a little bit too broad. If you're getting all these people that are not qualified, you need to narrow that message so that the only people that are listening and paying attention are more closely typed to your ideal client. The next part is, out of those qualified prospects, right? How many of those are scheduling sales appointments? Because if they're qualified, there should be a higher percentage of those that are actually being scheduled for sales appointments, right? If you sell multi-million-dollar homes, the people calling you that qualify to purchase multi-million-dollar homes should be setting up appointments with your sales team to go look at multi-million-dollar homes, right? So it's looking at those numbers. And then next, and this is the last one that I'm going to address in this video, it's sales appointments to closed business. Sales appointments to closed business. So this means out of the people that went and then, let's say you're a real estate investor, right? They went and they looked at the multi-million-dollar houses. How many of those actually followed through, sign a contract, close to the process, if that's your business? Let's give another example for business. Okay, so they had an appointment with you and you sell cars, right? You sell high-end cars. How many of those that sat down, that looked at the vehicle, that test drove it, are actually signing the dotted line? Because that's going to tell you the quality of your sales process. So always look at your numbers. And by financials, I also mean those strategic numbers on marketing and qualified to sales conversation to close, right? And remember, what makes you a successful business owner? Taking action. But that action has to be strategic.